Power started winning rounds, and it seemed like Complexity got a little bit, like, a little antsy, a little angry, and that allowed iBuyPower to steal out the rest of the rounds there. So I think if Exertus can get under their skin quickly, steal some initial rounds, force a lot of kills really fast, it's really going to hurt Complexity
is what
and push them back.
Yeah,
it gets them in their feelings. They get angry. They don't play like they should. I don't know if it's
they
anger.
get forced by E.
Yeah, I don't know if it's anger or if it's aggression or they think they're much better than the other team. Whatever it may be, when they start getting pushed in rounds, the nerves get to them, it seems like.
Well, nothing has reported that he's throwing his bet on Exertus. Let's hope that's not the case, because that would just be poor sportsmanship. You're watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. My partner tonight is Misled, and you are watching the featured match of the evening, Exertus versus Complexity. Let's take a look at our initial take on Bombsite A, which we called. It is exactly what Complexity likes to do. It is textbook Complexity. It's a 3-man palace, 2-man ramp, and everybody's entered the site. It's a hail of gunfire, and Ox drops back, calling his teammates, I need help. Anger will not allow it to happen. They'll push out and smartly get out of the bomb site into the choke points and force the retake to be that much more difficult. 3 versus 4. Warm and Glorin, now just Glorin, now just Pinecone. It's a massacre. Only one left, and he's tucked into this corner. He has no chance. Executed by nothing. 1 round for Cole, and it looked very, very stylish.
Right off the bat, Anger getting a 2K. If you guys remember from the other night, pistol rounds, Anger was just coming out swing. In the overtimes, I think he had a 4K the first time, a 3K the second one. Pistol round seems to be, it's all Anger. If Anger's in your match and it's pistol round, just basically give up because he's going to go absolutely nuts there.
We understand that we're having some GoTV interface issues, viewers. If you guys want that mini-map back, we'll be trying to fix that momentarily. Our producer and cameraman will have the message, but he's also on a delay just like us. So give us a second. 3 to mid, and this is what we asked for, right? Complexity is not the type to do this, and they'll change their game plan for the day and flash in from a distance. What the hell did I just see? Anger sprays down, finds shots behind the wall, piercing headshot. No reason to do it other than to just say that he did it. Nothing will find Oct at the top. I'm losing it there. That was just too funny to see. Nothing finds Oct at the top of the E-box, and Hiko finding Pinecone on the far, far flank. You have 1 more kill to get. It's going to be Flom. It's going to be a ladder kill if he can just control his recoil. 1 left. Now, number 3 is Glorens, who's in the palace, and he has no idea what to do. But with the CZ, you've always got a chance, right?
You always have a chance with the CZ. The gun, that is the 3rd best rifle in the game. I heard somebody say it the other night, and I love that statement.
Yeah, no, I would have to agree with that one. The CZ is just grossly strong. Luckily, the ammo system makes it manageable.
24 bullets going into that. But right there, Exertus trying to go for what I assume they would. They're going to try and overwhelm. They're going to try and get in Complexity space. Complexity took mid, though, and it worked out for him. Off the shoulders of Anger, making that just ridiculous. I don't know if you would call that amazing, ridiculous, or lucky. Making that good shot right there. But Complexity taking mid. Exertus trying to get back in their face. It didn't work out for him. Complexity holding their posure here. Composure.
I would totally go with ridiculous. Most times you spray that with a nice burst, 2 bursts, and you're like, I didn't get a kill, whatever. Anger just pressed mouse 1 and held down. He was like, I'm getting this kill, and he did. That's just okay. So that's us being or using hyperbole there. Let's use the actual analysis. That's game tape. That's a lot of research, and looking at people's streams, looking at people's game film, because you don't do that out of habit. You spray that because you think somebody has a tendency of doing that. Shots clearly has given something away. Pinecone will step out, find 2 at the old E-box, finds Sean Gares, and gets traded by Sempus. 2 alive for Exertus on this final eco, and they've forced a couple of rebuys already. They have also recovered a Gallo. So CZ versus the Terrorist Force. There's an early entry or re-entry. Flom gets traded out. 1 versus 2. Oct has a CZ. Our number 4 is who we follow now. Ooh, executed. Nothing has been the one who finishes off these rounds, and he does it again.
2K on the round for him, and that's almost, man, like ESP on that guy. Walking through the B apartments, snaps back around, ready for that shot, and I feel like Complexity here is doing something that they don't normally do. They're switching up what they normally do. Look at, they're going mid. They're going mid quite a bit here, and it's successful. I feel like they're learning, they're adjusting here. They're not going with what your complexity strats are. They're going with what everyone thinks they're not going to do, and it's paying off for them.
They are a team that plays at the international level, and surely they know they cannot be so one-dimensional. Sean Gare steps out with his AK, picks up a double, and walks away dink. Still no casualties for the T side, and yes, they're making all the adjustments they need, including Hiko being a lurk at A, which is uncharacteristic since A is where they want to go, and the bomb is following him, so he'll actually be a sort of a secondary entry. No need for that. 4-0 Complexity is looking very strong.
Yeah, good round here. Complexity fought well, working that mid. They actually played back very, very smart. Those two players in mid just kind of waited back, and Exertus doing what I thought they needed to do. They need to get really aggressive. They need to get up in Complexity space here to try and force the issue, force these guys to make mistakes, and get out of the normal routine of Complexity like standard, like this is how we do it, this works for us. They're trying to force them, and it's not working because Complexity is just out shooting right now, hands down.
Complexity with an early change of pace. Instead of stopping to flash in and do set smokes, they run in, use anger, and use him as a bulldozer. They run over first for an entry, get a double with a teammate. They've smoked off the site, and on an eco round, Exertus has nothing to say other than we've experienced what trauma is like, blunt force trauma. So they'll have to buy next round. They likely, unless Sean Gares messes up here. Oh my God, that was tough to look at. If they don't get a kill here, they're just gonna walk in with a standard buy next round, and I think Complexity is maybe 2 rounds away, including bomb detonations. I'm talking from being at the solid 13 to 16K bank account.
Yeah, I do like how Complexity will fall back on. I continue to call it Complexity play. It's just so locked into how they operate and what they do. It's so mechanical for them. It's a game plan that works every time, and they rotate back to, as you talked about, that A take, knowing that Exertus should have almost no money, and they're going to be broke, so they're either going to have to be on a super, super light buy, or they're going to buy out, which is barely any SMGs and no armor, so they go for the A, and they're easily able to take that.
Look at double scoped look for the counter terrorist. One will be a Scar, another will be an Op. Set smokes here, a slow play to A, and Sean Gares has a second smoke. The smoke is actually thrown late to let that first one dissipate. They may actually push the smoke, though, and there's no wrap from mid. This is what we talk about. They don't send a mid wrap. Sometimes they'll just try to barge their way into A and do a take because they feel strongly about their ability to outshoot those people. And when you isolate parts of the site, when you isolate not CT this time, but you smoke the top of the E-box, for example, or you smoke jungle and you isolate the players on the left side, have a single small firing frame, you're rarely going to outshoot Anger. You're rarely going to outshoot Semphis, or, well, Semphis is not an entry, but you're rarely ever going to outshoot Nothing, for example, and it's just hard to do, and they don't really need to get too creative now.
I just feel like Anger, man, Anger these last couple games has been playing so amazing, getting entry kills, and that's a 3K on the round for him right there. That's already his second 3K, I believe. Yeah. And he's playing so good these last couple days, and it was such a heartbreak last night to see them lose. I mean, the game was amazing, but man, watching the play from Anger and Sean Gares and the way Hiko was playing last night, they're doing it again tonight. They're hitting really good shots here and not giving Exertus any time to try and get a trade-off.
Here is one that you don't see too often. A single pressure player at B tunnels and a bomb trailing him with only one controlling mid for Complexity. Hiko on the far lurk, probably spotted. I don't know if Pinecone actually saw his opponent or took a guess or saw some sort of shadow, but he picks up an not an M4, an AK, and alerts everybody else that was the lurker. If Hiko's here, then other players must be elsewhere. Let's rotate over, let's try to get a jump on him. And Flom might have just done it if he had not wasted his first easy headshot. Semphis will pick him up and punish. You cannot make that mistake against a talented squad such as this, 4 versus 4. Nothing has a nade for the kitchen, and I think Pinecone may have escaped it, but maybe not the second volley of bullets. Sean Gares picks him up, and Semphis over the top of the white will pick up Oct. One left in the B tunnels, and one left actually in the site. Glorens is 1-on-2, and gets ear hold. He's down, 7-0 for Complexity. Exertus needs answers. What are their answers?
Exertus here, I was saying they need to get in their face. They need to get aggressive here. They've tried that. They tried playing back a little bit, letting Complexity try and work their strat on them. it just simply boils down to they're just getting outshot right now. Anger is shooting ridiculous right now. Sean Garris and Hiko are both shooting very, very good here. Exertus needs to be able to get shots, and they need to be able to get that entry kill or the initial pick to prevent the rush from coming or the big push right there, like Shots just did.
That might have been critical. He was the wraparound, but they have yet to be stopped really on the first solid entry. Now Oct is doing an admirable job. He'll drop back into the shadow, or maybe the firebox, the ever dangerous firebox ever since 1.6. I've never liked playing there. Can I be honest with you? I've never liked playing there.
I've never been an A player on this map in any form of this map.
Hiko will be on top of the apartments looking for an easy kill to equalize here. You don't want to take an uneven site, especially when you know the numbers are most likely 3-on-3 in the site and you're the ones guessing the locations of your opponents. Let them push you, let them make a mistake as Exertus plan. Make sure you cut out an early entry. You have to kind of guess as to where that entry is going to come from. And it was Shots today. He did a good job.
Yeah, Shots hit one right off the bat, and then Oct was able to get one. Right there, Sean Garris finally getting shots down. But right now, 40 seconds in, they're going to have to try and get aggressive here and try and make a play.
There it was.
Not looking good for CompLexity.
Not at all, but we want a game on our hands, so for just the next 30 seconds, we will be Exertus fans. 2 rebuys for Exertus. They walk away with an op, an M4A4, and an M4A1. I lament the loss of the Scar. That's an expensive purchase to lose.
That's a big gun with a big price tag on it. Dropping that bad boy, that's rough to your economy. When you only have one round for yourselves, that's a big hit to your wallet right there.
Looks like they'll be okay. At the start of the purchases, I saw the top end being around 76. What I wanted to point out, and if our camera could just pull up, is when we have some spare time, show that Anger's 10-2 right now. That is absurd, and we're only 8 rounds in, or probably onto our 9th round. Pinecone steps out at mid, could pick up a double, walks out with a dink on Sean Garris, and anybody will take that because 4 versus 2 with Sean Garris at 10 HP feels like a round win. And unless our starlet for the evening, Anger, comes up with something that is just a virtuoso performance, it's going to be another Exertus round, which will, I'm going to call it right now, with Anger dead, which will end up within 2 rounds of forcing an eco. Remember, you're going to need 2 consecutive with Anger and nothing already at 10k.
And this is still very winnable right here. Sean Garris is low, down to 10 HP, but the closest player, and he goes down, had 5 HP, or no, Flom actually had full HP. I thought Oct was going to be the closest one. He had 5 HP there. Shots was very low also. Glorin was about down to half. Flom was at full. So a well-placed spray right there and a good nade could have won him that round.
So this round and the next, and CompLexity, well, you never tell CompLexity when they're going to eco because they will just buy swags and just say, yeah. I'm not going to use those words on stream, but you know what they say. Early shot by Shots, gets Sempis leaping across, and that no trade, an attempt to charge him by a pistol-wielding Sean Garris at mid was nothing was very, very cheeky. Surprised he got away with it. Glorns is in with sandwich, and he's got 1 on his left. Shot steps back out from the connector, brings down nothing, and Oct will combine with him to bring down Anger. Looks like things are starting to click for Exertus, who is oftentimes a slow starter. It's never a compliment, I know, but it's true. Exertus seems to get punched and then be that kind of that punchy boxer who's got good stamina to come back into it, and they try to win it late.
I almost feel, is that nerves? I mean, they just had a match earlier, didn't they? They played I by Power in EACA, right? Just right before this, I'm pretty sure.
They absolutely did, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it's nerves coming into this match. Maybe it's a little bit of anger, a little bit of angst coming from that last match. I don't know what the score was for that. I don't know who ended up winning it because we were casting one. But there might be a little bit of jitter left in them, and there might be shaking off the cobwebs right now. As I said, they need to hit those initial shots to slow down CompLexity, and they've been doing it right now. But CompLexity falling back to what CompLexity does best, and that's going to be that A-take that you talked about.
When you get punched in the mouth, you fall back to what's familiar. This is true in all sports, and it's true in esports. They'll go with their set A-take, smokes on top of the E-box, and in front of the jungle. There's no way to see anybody unless you're in the site, and Oct is actually in the site. He'll have to protect his teammate, Lawrence, who's in the sandwich. 1-1 trade thus far. AKs versus M4A1s, and the exchanges are violent and swift. Pinecone steps through the smoke, transfers his spray, almost picks up a second player on top of the Tetris. 1-on-2. Flom has full health. His opponents are fairly weak. We go to our number 2 man who misses a golden opportunity 2 players at a collective 11 HP. Flicks a flashbang. A minute left, and there is no motivation for CompLexity to force the site. They'll run away, and now the question is this a fake? Do they come back to the site?
No, they look like they're completely committing to this. And this is going to be a gigantic round for Exertus. If Exertus is able to win this, what I was talking about earlier, how if Exertus is able to string together some wins here and trying to put the pressure on CompLexity, they might falter a little bit right here. I think this is going to be the round that if Flom is able to clutch this, which, man, he's moving farther and farther away.
He's so far
right
away.
now.
Yeah, by the time he gets to the bomb site, he'll have to go Action Jackson, be James Bond, and destroy everybody to clutch the round. He's just too far away now.
But in this point right now, you don't have a choice. You got to commit to one site. You got to stay there and you got to hold because you're realistically 50-50. If you put yourself in the mid, you might be in a little bit better position. But then if you commit to one site or the other, you could get lucky and they could push onto you and you could take them both out. So
crawl into the head of Flom now, who runs out of kitchen, doing exactly what we said. James Bond mode, perhaps even more thrilling than him. He's probably Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. He needs to get a jumping M4 kill here. He could find nothing. Spray that wall as pierceable.
Ooh.
That is a huge play. I cannot understate it. We had identified that round as the pivotal round where that could change the economy for CompLexity for the entire half, and nothing comes up aces in the end.
Yeah, he's able to bring that out and hold it down for his team. As I said, if Exertus was able to get that, I feel like that could have been the breaking point, at least mentally, for CompLexity. From what we've seen in the past from these guys, that could have been the big round right there that forces Exertus or forces CompLexity to start thinking a little too much, get a little too in their heads here, and now they're going to rotate back into a B strat, which I think is a good play as there's that 3-player stack, not even a single player in mid until now.
Flom, who is the unfortunate victim of that final kill, will push through the smoke. Anger drops down into the underpass, picks up 1 kill. Flom is looking to be traded, steps back out foolishly and finds nothing waiting for him. 2-2 on the round, and Flom and shots are down for Exertus. Hiko and Semphis are down for CompLexity. They're spread out over the map with 1 lurk, and it still has the semblance of the same strat that they were working with off the get-go, unless nothing eats a shot off the top, and he is getting a close shave by Pinecone. 2 live. Anger is with the bomb. He is in B tunnels. Sean Gares has reached out from A. Glorens is down. They're calling for their rotate back because with that kill, clearly, Sean Gares is going to say, bomb site open for business. Get over here as fast as possible. Please, 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 please.
Oh, Pinecone. I thought there was going to be a peek right there. I thought that could have been extremely bad. If Sean Garris would have peeked that window, he could have caught Pinecone from behind, and they easily would have been able to take that 2v1. Actually, they could have just rotated to back to B extremely easily, and Sean Garris does take down Pinecone. 1v1 now.
Early cutout, that's right. 1 cutout that was from the connector and another by the site. That's the bomb dropped, and Sean Garris will go pick it up. He is waited just long enough for that radar blip to not give away his position should he choose to pick up the bomb. With 20 seconds left, he's hunting for the kill, and though this might be the right decision on some maps, around this CT, getting into the window room is such a ring around. Oh, Ock finally gets a stroke of luck, finds Sean Gares leaping for the bomb, and I think definitely is the word I'm going to use, picks up a 4 burst that has a headshot at the end.
I don't know, were you watching Radar right there? How unbelievably close he was to seeing Oct, as Oct just barely jumped up to move into the window room right there when he was rotating down the stairs in the CT.
Oh, yes.
He could have caught that right there. Oct, not even, I was about to get really mad and start yelling because he was actually moving through CT with a knife out the entire time, not even with his rifle, not really knowing which direction
I'd like to point something out to you. When CompLexity is flustered and they need to eco on Mirage, what do? They CZ walk B, and it's a bit like they've been predicted. It looks like Exertus has done their homework, and it could be an easy win as Flom picks up a double, straights back out for a triple, wants the quad, can't get it, doesn't matter. No guns available still, and I think Pinecone just missed an entire mag of 30 bullets. So shots and Oct clean up the mess, and Pinecone's a bit embarrassed, but if anybody does their homework on this team, there's no secret to their eco round, and I think they just walked into a trap.
Yeah, it definitely looks like the trap was sprung right there. But Exertus, I feel they can scrape these last rounds out. They can make this really close. They can pull this back, make this an 8-7, not allow it to go to 9-6 here. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be in good shape here. It's a little bit more T-sided. So if Exertus is able, especially since they're going to be coming up on T-side this next half, if they're able to get in CompLexity's head and force the issue, force these guys to make bad plays and get a little too aggressive, a little too angry with how they play, they're going to end up winning this.
Shots makes an aggressive push into the underpass to check B tunnel. Surely if they went that round, they're not going to go again. His gamble may pay off huge here. His information gathering may have paid off in ways that change the outcome of this round and rounds to follow if they eco again. The setup at A is the one we've seen before. 3 in the Palace, 2 at the ramp, including the bomb carry, who is Sean Gares. And here comes the second volley of smokes and flashes. CompLexity throws in, surely to smoke the E-box or maybe the jungle. And the action now ensues. The rotates are on. Oct is in the sandwich, does considerable damage, but surrenders his weapon. A nade falls between the CompLexity players, not doing enough damage. One in the smoke. Hiko transfers his look and his gaze over to him. Pinecone's down, and suddenly it's just the sheer firepower of CompLexity that overcomes them. Look at this. A perfect a trap was sprung a second time in a row. A second time in a row. And that one was won purely on gunplay.
That was a good play there. CompLexity playing as typical CompLexity there. Exertus even pulled that back. That was a 5 versus 5 right there. Almost every CT had worked their way back. I think the last remaining CT was rotating through mid connector as he was watching mid to see. They knew it was going to be an A take. He was trying to see if that mid guy was going to move up to connector to try and flank the CTs in sight. But that was basically a 5 versus 5 right there, and CompLexity was able to outshoot Hiko with a 3K in that round. It's going to happen
again. It's going to happen again. They pushed the ramp because they went A this round. They are thinking that they're going to go B this round. Exertus is calling them on their bluff again. I think CompLexity is getting away with winning rounds purely on their muscle, if you understand my meaning there. They're just blowing people up with amazing shots. Now, it's slowed down a bit, and it's a bit starting to look like a mid-take with a window boost, and it is a mid-take with a window boost. The counter is going to be shots, and nothing comes out, finding him, connecting, and probably sending his teammates over toward B now. They come up the cat as he's cleared it, and he will hold for the rotates. 2 kills as they rotate. Glorens finds Sean Gares in the ladder room. 2 alive for CompLexity. And this is a critical round for Exertus. That 9-6 split feels so much different than the 10. Oh, nade! Does so much damage to Oct. Somehow picks up nothing. And this feels so good for them. They've gathered information twice now. They should have had Cole dead to rights twice now, but they've only come away with 1. So this one may pay off if Hiko doesn't do the unthinkable. 1 kill. We follow our number 6 man for the remainder of the round.
Doesn't know where the bomb
behind
is.
Him. Well, he kind of knows because his teammates are telling him I died with the bomb in there.
I don't think he would have ran along the wall like that. I think he thought it was on the ground right there.
Maybe they're being quiet for the clutch. A lot of teams choose to do that. He'll come around to the jungle. Nobody's here with 20 seconds remaining. He's going to have to sprint for the bomb, give away his position, and make a very ugly lunge, a very loud lunge. First shot by Flom, no good. Hiko has a double. Could this be the triple clutch? He has to go for a kill now, and there's nobody around. 8 seconds left. He can't get to the bomb site, and he's unfortunately sold himself short. He is not going to win this one. The half ends 9-6. An interesting one. You're watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. My partner is Misled, and you're watching Exertus versus CompLexity. Your thoughts?
I really liked what CompLexity did there. They didn't stick to that A-take. Facing adversity, they didn't just switch that up. They brought it back when they needed to, but they worked mid. Like, right when I talked about working mid, CompLexity went down mid, they earned their way through it, and they were easily able to work up catwalk into B, and then they can drop back to that A-take that they do so well, and moving back and forth, it feels like it doesn't feel like, it is Exertus being put under their toes here. They're not getting to play Exertus's game. It's not them in the face of CompLexity fighting it out. It's actually CompLexity just slow playing and working the better strats and catching Exertus off guard.
It's true. Our HUD's just a little bit messed up here, or at least it is for me. The terrorists are taking a completely different path than the CompLexity team did the first time. No speed to A, no crushing Glock powers. Here it's a slow play, and it's at B. And the people who are defending B are going to be Hiko and nothing. Oct is a flank, and he is, of course, the delaying force. But he's being a little bit too obvious with that, so I doubt any of the CompLexity players will bite on that. Cross for the window. Nothing, gets tagged a few times. Drops out with 55 HP. And that nade does minimal damage considering how closely bunched everyone is. Nothing comes out of the kitchen. Tries to challenge Exertus' shots, and he wins that battle. Lawrence comes up to trade. Gets it with a beautiful-looking Glock shot. In the old E-box, Anger steps out. Oh, Flom, decapitation. Hiko goes down, and the retakes for CompLexity looking very strong. I don't think Oct has this, so it's going to be 10-6.
And once again, Anger on a pistol round, 3K. His pistol skills are ridiculous. I don't want to say he's winning these pistol rounds for Complexity, but the last couple games that he's been in that have been casted, it's been all him in every pistol round, even overtime. I can't state it enough. The guy is playing so good right now, and that's the second pistol round that's going to go for Complexity, which is a bad spot to be in if you're Exertus.
Let's not beat this story to death, but how much do you feel that this is just that game, that pride that you have as a man, as a competitor? This game is really much more important than it should be, considering you've already secured a playoff spot.
Definitely. I don't care how many times people try and say, oh, it's this league or it's that league or it's a nothing game. Nobody cares about this. When you're playing Counter-Strike and you start to lose even just a little bit or you don't hit your shots, you immediately turn it on. I don't care who you are, how long you've been a pro for. There's never just a, oh, I'm just goofing off. You always end up putting the tri-pants on.
Especially when your ability and your team ability is being questioned. I think they've faced that in the last couple of days. I think they want to put those rumors to rest, and this is one way to do it. Exertus seems like they're unable to overcome the collective force of Complexity, and they have been in the past, so this looks much different than what we've experienced. It's that smoke for Flom. Don't know if he's going to let that one go yet. They're waiting to see if they can get somebody to push in, and with the smoke for CT, they're going to ask Pinecone and Oct to walk through the smoke. They're comfortable doing it, but on the other side, it's nothing. Waiting with the bomb. He picks up one, almost picked up the second if he could have just had a few more bullets in the magazine. Sean Gares will help out, and on the far flank, Shots is here. Finds Hiko with the bomb, 2 versus 3. If only Flom could stay alive for just a little bit longer, it's okay. Shots has a mag 7. He needs to get close, and Hiko knows that his gun has been taken, tells his teammates, back off, back off, back off. He has a mag 7. Surround him first. Don't do this. Don't do this. There you go. Sean Gares working up the balls to go to the window and challenge the mag 7. With somebody that close with a mag 7 like Shots, I would be horrified of trying to jump out there.
I would not have advised that play, but now that we saw that it worked, I'm like, yeah, that's how you gotta do that. You gotta get up in his face. You got a mag 7. Who cares? But it was a good. It worked. I feel it was a little bit lucky, but it worked out. And Complexity is just stealing this away now. Exertus is falling to the wayside here. They really need to get back into the head of Complexity and get aggressive here on this T side and make it happen.
Certainly can. 4 to B, 1 to A, and the playbook for Exertus looks so much different than what we are used to. On the other side, the half that you just watched, 2 into the B tunnels. The bomb is holding at mid, trying to determine its ultimate path. That's, oh my god! Hiko with the unbelievable game sense! Not only did he get the spray kill, one of them, or 2 of them, were headshots through the wall, and Hiko just, I got you. I got you. Pinecone answers. He brings down Sean Gares, and it's 4 versus 4. If Exertus can just figure out that somebody's really close to him, he'll have an easy kill. 2 early kills attached to those ones that they've had before. That's Oct and Pinecone who go down. It's Flom and Glorians who are left. That boost onto the bricks make it hard to identify that cat player. Flom and his teammate are both trying to work toward A, and Hiko, having cleared up B, has no reason to be over there, finds a mid player. It looks very much like Complexity is just stepping it up and hitting another top gear right now.
Yeah, they're just breaking the limit right now. If you take a peek at scoreboard, Sean Gares up top. Sean Gares up top right now. That's weird to say, but Anger and Nothing are both up there. Hiko, and actually the story, man, Senfis, only 8 frags this game. Only 8 right now. A little out of character for him, but the rest of his team is stepping up now, and they're doing very well. They've still out-shooting Exertus.
Think on this one little observation. Think about how many of Complexity's plays have been slow set pieces with nades and smokes and flashes that he's had to throw those and not be part of the initial action. So maybe he lost a couple and had some deaths and he's negative, but I don't know how many people he's actually seen, you know?
True. I haven't been on his perspective the entire time to get an accurate view of what's going on with him. But either way, it's a team effort. A single player can do so much in a game, but when it comes down to it, individual skill can only take you so far in a 5 versus 5 game here. And CompLexity overall, as I stated earlier, they're just out shooting Exertus right now. Exertus have won a few rounds in a row there, first half, able to get the entry kills and stop the rush, but they're not doing it right now. CompLexity is just running away with these and getting kills and getting 2 people before one goes down for the trade. Still got... Oh, your mic is muted.
Oh, it is. No, Anger searching for his opponent, knowing that somebody went down at mid, thank you for that, by the way, went to find the opposite person coming from the A ramp. We'll clean up that round. I wanted to point out at the beginning of the round that Shots was actually in B tunnels. He was walking, and then he just stopped on a dime. He was like, I'm going to spray back, just in case. Because I got posterized, I want to make sure that I get a second chance at this. And nobody's out there. It went to Hiko's camera, he looked at the bullets coming through the wall, and I'm sure he just grinned at his computer.
Just laughs at not being hit by that after he made it happen. It only works once, though, unless they're a heavy B-strat team, and like, it looks like it could work right now. But Exertus really needs to get their shots going here as soon as they can. CompLexity's got 14 now, and they're really hitting their stride. They're definitely making their shots happen, and they're getting those initial kills, and it's just halting Exertus. I almost feel like Exertus was not ready or expecting what was going to happen in him here, and they're kind of falling apart.
Probably like to see Exertus bunch up a little bit more, knowing that their gunplay today is not as good as CompLexity's. You need to be able to trade multiple. If Hiko just sprays through another time, he would have had... Oh, he does. Finds Flom, thinks that there's a second, picks up his rifle again, and loses the final engagement for the triple. Like I said, Exertus needs to bunch up and try to get the trades, and I think it kind of worked there. I think Exertus wishes that they didn't take so much damage. With that sound jumping out of the window, Sean Gears makes his arrival just a bit too obvious. CompLexity is still on the tie points, and I think, as we were saying, they need to bunch up more and play the trade game. It came to fruition. It worked.
Yeah, I mean, that mid control is locking it down right now. You got CompLexity just holding that mid down, so now you're just forcing the other team to either have to work B or they have to work A. They can't work mid and drop into connector and then try and fall out and get to underpass. Just
Did you see that?
The nade inside.
Yeah, nothing's like, oh, my bad.
Right off the box in front of his face.
Yeah. Sean Gears will step out to mid and fire a 3 burst that catches Glorns just a little bit. Did you have something about how to challenge them as Exertus, or is that something for another time?
It's just all about mid, and they're finally doing it.
Yeah, Exertus went heavy B early in the half. They challenged out at mid and found that they can find some success here. Flom has stepped in and found nothing in the meantime. Hiko uses this little position that nobody likes. Nobody likes that player that uses that position in bomb side B. 4 versus 3, and Exertus has some weak players, Pinecone and Noct. That boost through will catch Hiko on the rotate. Semphis is at 3 HP, and he, with his teammate Anger surrounded, is not going to have so much of a fun time trying to clutch this. I think maybe he won't even try. Yeah, look at the body language. I'm not doing this, he says.
Yeah, he's just going to wisely fall back, hold his rifle. They have the round advantage right now, so giving an 8th round to Exertus isn't really going to hurt yourselves. Let me take a peek at money. Not too horrible on, well, yeah, the money situation is not the best. Definitely going to want to say that. He's only at 750. He's going to get on this lose. It's going to be really tight. Sean Garrett's only down to 450 bucks here. So this was actually a big win right now for Exertus, who's trying to take the momentum. And CompLexity definitely needs to try and save that rifle and be able to light. They'll be able to full buy around that, but
this feels so much better for Exertus, who had in one time been faced with a critical half-altering round and came up just short to a nothing clutch. This time around, they forced CompLexity finally into an eco that they're looking for. If they build on this, if they can get this round, the next round, and then go into the next gun round controlling mid, like you said, we could be talking about 14-10, 14-11, that sort of scenario, which is probably maybe a minute and 30 seconds ago, not even thinkable.
And actually, CompLexity is going to opt to just not go with the light buy right here. They're not even going to go for it. They're just going to get pistols out of this and let Semphis maintain that rifle. So they're going to try and get a big hold right here. And man, they're going to stack A. This is going to be a tough one to get here. If only Exertus would have stuck with that mid, they would have been able to buy their way either way, catwalk or connector, into these sites.
No, they went early to B, excuse me, early to A. They psyched themselves out with this movement. Viewers, take a look at your mini-map. This is a well-timed fake, and Exertus has the bomb still lingering at bomb site A. Trade out, and Florence will deliver 2 guns with his teammates to the CTs. They'll have to come for the far retake, and I don't know that this plan worked exactly to Exertus' liking. They took a couple of deaths that they might not have wanted to. When they committed by jumping down into the site, they sort of told themselves that they were ready to die, and they did. So the retake is 4 versus 3, and the first on the scene is nothing. He's got Flom down, and Shots has to hit one early. Elsewise, this is not the plan that they wanted. Even on an eco, CompLexity has found their number again, and Heartbreak finds Exertus one more time, who has put themselves in the right position multiple times and come up short multiple times.
That is just a massive, massive eco or light buy there for CompLexity. Locking up that tie in overtime here, so Exertus is forced into winning every single round from here on out, stay alive in this. It's just not a good place to be. I think CompLexity, they switched it up. They got into Exertus' head before Exertus was able to get into their head, and they've played very disciplined and very well. 3 of their players have already cracked 20 kills in this match.
You are looking at the game points here. CompLexity has bought 2 incendiary nades. I'd like to see how they're used. First one is going to land right in the palace, forcing players in the palace to come running out before they're ready. Anger steps out, could have it double to his name if he can control his AK. He cannot. Flom steps out, finds Sean Gares, trying to find someone in the smoke, does pick him up as he ran away. Lawrence pushes the smoke, gets another kill. All T action ever since Shots went down, and he goes the last. He's by the, I believe the connectors, the camera left me. He picks up 3 immediately! Brings it to a one-on-one. He's in the site, and Hiko doesn't know. This could be his undoing, but at least we have the game continue. It's still alive, 15-9. Holy cow, I missed the entire exchange because the camera went rogue. I came back right at the last minute.
I was on T's that entire time. I just kept switching to T's. He just made his way up through connector, got the first one, dropped back onto what used to be that E-box there off the connector, and got the next 2, brought that down to a 1 versus 1. Huge play from Hiko, not able to bring it out though because Pinecone was actually in the site, made no noise, played that very smart there, caught Hiko trying to throw a nade out, but that easily could have been the 4K for Hiko and the clutch of the game.
Look at your inventories for the counter-terrorist team. It's a micro buy. What do I mean? You have a luxury sidearm for 2 players. You have an M4A1, an M4A1, and an AWP, but no utility nades really to be spoken of here. So it's a mismatch micro buy. Does it mean that the sights are misaligned? No, you can pair someone with a weapon unless Anger goes down early. Lawrence picks him up, who's had a fantastic second half at 21 and 20, and he could find the other who is in the cubby or the shadow or whatever you'd like to call it. Surrounded now. He can pick up one or trade himself. No, he's delivered guns. CompLexity's winning it on another mismatch buy. Oh, bomb. That's not how you win this round. 2 versus 3. They plant the bomb and players will be coming from every which direction. Probably through catwalk and through the supermarket. Double catwalk it is. We come down to the final moments here as the T's hold on to the bomb site. Early exchange for the market side. Sempus wins that battle, 1 alive, and it's Shots who tries to hold on. This defuse will end the game. Or Sean Gares will defuse it, whatever. And point made. Really, point made. CompLexity wasn't going to be denied today after such a heartbreak last night. You're watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. My partner